guys, it's Belle from Belle's Book Reviews again, and today we're going to be reviewing The Shakespeare Stealer by Gary Blackwood. So I would recommend this book for ages 9 and older because there is no inappropriate content or references in this book, and only the older teenager Nick, he gets drunk occasionally, and Sander and Widge, which is the main character, an orphan, and so Sander and Widge, they have to go search for him at the bar where he's usually drinking, and sometimes he gets into fights. So, but other than that, there is nobody gets drunk other than Nick, and there are no other inappropriate references other than the fact that near the end of chapter 20, Julian, this is going to be a spoiler for those of you who haven't read this book yet. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, I'm sorry you guys, but for those of you guys who haven't yet read this book, I advise that you guys pause this video because this video won't be going anywhere. So please just pause the video and go read the book, because this is honestly a great book, because this is really going to affect your view on the story. Anyways, though, so Julian, he is revealed to be a girl whose birth name is Julia, and apparently I'm using my school's copy because we didn't actually have a copy at home, so I'm using the school's copy that I borrowed from the school. But in our school, the teachers last year, they ripped out a few pages of the last few pages of chapter 20 because apparently they thought it was inappropriate. So I looked off of a classmate's copy, but I think that Julian, I'm pretty sure she tied up her chest so that she would look more like a boy. So I'm really not sure how nobody realized that, and I don't think that anybody saw that coming around the corner, but that was a shock, and I think that some people may find that sort of inappropriate. So if you think that's inappropriate, then other than those two things, there is no inappropriate content or references. And I don't think there was really an author's purpose for this book. And other than the author's purpose, though, I did find a lot of themes. One theme was loyalty, because when he grows up in an orphanage, when he was born, his mother died, and we don't know what happened to the father. But one way or another, he grows up in an orphanage. Then he's adopted by Dr. Bright, who is a terrible and abusive doctor. And after that, he's adopted by Simon Bass as an apprentice and is sent to steal the play of Hamlet. But then, of course, he just happens to lose his pocketbook, and he goes around. He's looking for it, and then he falls upon the theater company, who just accept him and take him in as one of their own. And soon he feels a bit guilty about stealing it, so he decides not to. And I think that that explanation also explained my theme of trust, because he realized what trust was like. And another theme was family and friendship. So I think both of those, they kind of come together, because he made a lot of close friends in the theater group who I think that he did consider family, because since all of them were apprentices and Widge never really had a family, and these close friends, nobody's ever really cared about him that much, and these friends are really the closest he's ever gonna get to family. So I think that he considers them family, because this theater company, they're nice to him, they feed him, they actually ask his opinion and everything. So that's the theme of family and friendship. And the last theme was good versus bad, because which says in the book, but that which says in the book that he never really thought much about stealing at first, but now as he meets the theater company, I think that he realizes that stealing is not a good thing, and I think now he starts to realize that almost everything that he's been doing in life, like as an apprentice for Dr. Bright, everything that he's been doing, like stealing sermons and trying to steal Hamlet, I think that he's realizing that all of that was wrong. There were a few things I liked about this book. One thing I liked was Julian, Widge, and Xander's relationship, because I think honestly that this was a bit of a fast. I think it was kind of fast, this transition. I think it was a bit too fast actually, but I still did love how Julian and Widge, at first they weren't really getting along, but then like after Julian saves Widge, I liked how they started to get along and kind of like protect each other no matter what happens. So I really liked that, and I also liked how the author, Gary Blackwood, I liked how he kind of like drops hints throughout the book about the fact that Julian's actually a girl, because I never really picked up on it, but after rereading the book over the weekend, so after I read this book, I realized that the author had actually been dropping clues, such as the fact that Julian, he didn't want to wrestle with Xander and Widge. Like when Xander and Widge were wrestling, Julian, he was kind of just like sitting by the trees and he was screaming like no when they asked him to wrestle with them. And he does do some things that show that he's a girl. So I liked how Gary Blackwood, he did like drop a few hints, and only very, very attentive readers can actually catch that. And personally, I actually didn't really think much of it because I was thinking, okay, Julian is a boy still. He doesn't like to wrestle, but not every boy has to wrestle. But I don't think that anybody ever actually realized that Julian was a girl, and I don't think anybody actually picked up on that though. And I don't know if this one was, if I liked it really. I'm not sure if I can say that I really liked it, but I was shocked, and I was kind of confused, I guess. I was shocked, confused, and I guess I liked the feeling all at once, because it was like this very strange feeling, and I can't say that I didn't like it really. But one way or another, I did like when Falconer was revealed to be Simon Bass. Like, I guess I kinda liked it. So I liked when he was revealed to be Simon Bass, because honestly, first off, there are some things that Gary Blackwood writes in this book that you do not expect to happen. Like, I never expected Julian to actually be a girl, first off. And second, I never expected this. I would have never known that Falconer was Simon Bass. And second, I have no clue how this mask worked. I guess, like, it was some kind of very thick makeup. But other than that, I have no clue how that happened. But anyways, I also liked Widge being accepted into the theater company. I liked it because, like, Widge, nobody's ever really, like, barely even acknowledged him. He's been with cruel masters. Falconer's always been, like, this mean guy with a grizzly beard and who always wears this hooded cloak, which I wonder if he ever actually washes. And he's also, like, Falconer's always been this, like, very scary guy. And Widge, he's never known a family. He grew up in the orphanage. And how suddenly, like, Widge meets the theater company, and everyone's just, like, immediately takes him in. And how, like, everyone's just, like, immediately being nice to him. And I also loved the Sander and Widge's friendship because personally, if I had an entire room to myself, because sometimes I'm actually a really selfish person, I wouldn't really be happy to have a roommate who I never met before and who just happened to show up and was accused of and was actually the cause of the fire at the Globe Theater. I wouldn't really be happy to have a roommate all of a sudden when I had this nice big room to myself. But really, Sander and Wood, how like they just immediately get along, and how Sander is just like this caring, compassionate, he's generous, and how he's just like willing to share everything with Widge, and how he just immediately accepts Widge as his best friend. So I really love that about him. And yeah, that's all the good things I have to say about it. This book. Some of the bad things I didn't really like. I didn't like when Nick really got drunk, because he just walked in. He was always like this kind of, he always acted like kind of weird, and I really didn't like when Nick just went around being drunk, and when they had to go to the pub and Widge had to like rescue Nick, because I loved, don't get me wrong, I loved that Widge actually knew how to help Nick, and most of all after Nick had bullied them, that he was actually still helping Nick. But I'm like, I love that, but the fact that Widge had to save him because Nick, he just felt the need to go like, oh no, blah blah blah, and pick a fight with this guy who's drunk, and so is he. So like the fact that Nick, when he's drunk, has to pick a fight with another drunk guy just because this drunk guy makes fun of him for fighting a girl. I didn't really like the character of Falconer either, because Falconer was always just this really kind of, Falconer was never really my favorite character, and at first I actually thought that Falconer was going to be one of those characters who like pretended to be mean the entire time, but in reality actually really liked you, and like in reality would actually end up being the person who could actually help you. So I actually thought that at first, but obviously I was wrong. Falconer was Simon Bass. They were both the bad guys. And then the last thing that I really didn't like was Adam, the stable boy, stealing Wedge's things, because honestly, I don't know why Adam did that. At first I was just like, oh yeah, obviously, he's just jealous. And then I realized, what would Adam be jealous of Wedge for? Wedge doesn't have a family. He just came here. He had to walk half the way. Okay, so now he's here. He gets to sleep a bit. Like, no wonder. He's just been on this journey. So obviously, yeah, he gets to sleep. Now, why do you need to steal his money? So honestly, I was like, why would you ever do that? Because, first off, Wedge never did anything to Adam. Second, Adam, he acts like he owns the place, but really he is a stable boy, and this should not be that hard for him to understand. And honestly, I hate whenever in books like thieves like Adam, they just come along into a story and they just come along and they're just like, okay, stealing this guy's stuff while he's sleeping. And honestly, I don't really think that was I don't think it was really fair either, because Wedge was sleeping and he was completely knocked out cold because he has been walking all the way to where Simon Bass lives. And then now, yes, he's going to sleep a bit. Yes, he's obviously probably very tired. So then I just asked him, like, why would you ever do that? Because Wedge just comes along, and Falconer, he's kind of like mad at Adam a bit when he comes there. He's just like, Adam, don't do this and that. But really, I don't understand why Adam would do that, because like on the other hand, there was Libby, who was like super duper nice to Wedge and all, but I was just kind of disappointed in Adam. All at the same time, like, while I was mad at Adam, I was really disappointed in him too. Because, like, why? Like, if you're a decent human, don't do that. Who does that? Who steals from people when they're asleep or gone? Because that's really, like, not even fair. And, like, I'm just like, be a decent human being. Anyway, so, like, I was shocked, mad, and disappointed in Adam all at the same time when I realized that he had stolen Widge's things. But other than that, that's all I have to say about this book. I'll give this book a 4 out of 5 stars because overall this is a great book, and I think that almost all ages will enjoy it. So you guys, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Bye!